Big
Great.
giant SoftComply. Compliance made easy.
Wonderful.
Music to my ears.
Thank you, Alex. Always good to have some compliance enthusiasts in the audience.
I've been
And
on the
thanks,
other end and it's not pretty.
but I will tell you a bit funnier stories hopefully today. Thank you guys for inviting me. And I just wanted to say that what we do ties very well with what Xenia was saying about Excels. We have a risk management solution on Jira, and risk managers love putting risks into Excel, and we created a multi-sheet or multi-tab spreadsheet view for them inside Jira that they can use for manipulating the risks and editing their data in there. And of course, as you heard Björn talking about audits and compliance and all that fun stuff, obviously Compliance Made Easy is all about trying to help companies in compliance space managing their AI risks, managing the GRC 27001 for info security and NIST for cybersecurity risks, and many more standards and regulations that we support companies with on the Jira side. But today, I'm going to tell you some stories about my sailing adventures and how basically risks are all around us. And we should use risk management not as a kind of a compliance overhead or exercise, but really to make better decisions, especially in critical situations. So when we talk about sailing, people very often think of freedom, wind in your hair, wine glass in your hand, and some gorgeous sunsets. But in reality, it's a lot of anticipating what could go wrong and trying to stay ahead of it. And that is why I think sailing is a really good metaphor for risk management. So I'm going to tell you a few stories and how they relate to risk management, especially how to plan for mitigations and how to feel more confident if you have this plan at hand. People often think that the scariest moment in sailing is a really big storm. These are pretty scary, but for me, what happened was on a perfectly calm day. We were sailing and our small children were on a boat on board and the weather was perfect, but suddenly I smelled smoke. And it came from the cabin and my kids were in there. So on land, fire is dangerous, but on a sailboat, it is one of the worst case scenarios. You have gas lines very close to electrical wiring, and that is very close to fuel, all in close space. And there is usually no easy escape. Help could be hours away. So in that moment, that risk is very real and it comes very quickly. And that's where you think about the first mitigation fire extinguisher. So you hope that they are not buried somewhere under the spaghettis or candy wrappers at that point. And that's true also to organizational risk management, that you do not truly start managing risk in the sense of proactive risk thinking when things are calm. It starts when something almost goes catastrophically wrong, or when you suddenly realize that you are responsible for other people. And the important thing is that risks do not wait for the right moment. And if your mitigation only starts when you smell smoke, you're already too late. So you have to think of what could go wrong in these situations. And although most companies officially start risk management when they realize that they need to be complying with regulations, be it SOC 2 or 27001 or NIST or whatever they have that they need to be adhering to, then implementing this proactive risk thinking in a traditional software company usually starts too late when something almost bad happens. But even if we do manage risks, there are times we still ignore the very basic things in risk management. Did you know that most sailing accidents actually happen not in the storm, but they happen in calm conditions, oftentimes in the harbors? And that's because people relax, they stop thinking about risks, they take shortcuts, pushing boats with hands without actually considering that their fingers and toes can get caught between the boat and the pier. And it's always the boat that wins, right? Because it's several tons heavy. But I experienced one similar accident myself. I was on a sailing trip in Turkey, perfectly calm, beautiful sailing conditions, and my husband walked barefoot on the deck and stepped on a cleat. That's this metal horn-shaped thing on the picture as well. And that's where you tie lines for sails, or when you dock the boat, it's designed to hold enormous power, and the edges of it are quite sharp. So he ruptured a major artery under his foot, and we were hours away from any help, and it was just the two of us. So in that moment, the only option was emergency response, but the real mitigation should have happened much earlier. And that's why I always say that risk management isn't just for extreme situations, it's also about everyday behavior, because it should have taken place as a risk management training for a team. For example, teaching kids to not run in harbors, no pushing boats with your hands. and no barefoot walking on the deck. And it applies also to the experienced sailors, because these are usually the ones also in organization, the experienced people who take shortcuts, right? Train everybody in risk management, especially your experienced people, because they are usually the ones who are comfortable taking shortcuts. But even if your people behave correctly, we still need something else. We need to prepare for the worst case scenarios. And this is one of my favorite risk management examples in a situation where mitigation actually worked exactly as it was intended. We were sailing on a rented boat on open sea, and the storm had been forecasted, but for much later. So conditions were still perfectly beautiful the night before we set out. But despite that, we decided to reef the sails, which means that we reduced the sail area to prepare for stronger winds. The next day, we sailed out and the storm arrived much earlier than we expected. And because we had small children on board, we decided to use the engine instead of sailing to have more comfortable sailing for the kids. And we were a few hours in when the engine suddenly stopped. At that point, we were already in several meter-high waves with ocean currents slowly pushing us toward cliffs. We were drifting because we had no power anymore. And the situation was escalating pretty badly. In that moment, it was clear that we had multiple risks already materialized. So we had engine failure, we had rapidly worsening weather conditions, and we were relying on a single system. But fortunately, the mitigations that we put in place the night before really worked, because the sails were already reefed and we could put them up very quickly, even in the storm. So we could get back the control over the boat and we were no longer drifting towards the cliffs. We managed to get the catastrophic situation under control, although it was still extremely stressful, of course, until we got to the harbour. This experience illustrates that mitigation is important because you have to prepare early, build safety into your actions before the risks actually materialize, ensure redundancy. So if one system fails, you have to have another that takes over. In our case, of course, never assume equipment, especially a rented one, is flawless. But the most important thing here is that a risk mitigation that doesn't work in real situations isn't mitigation at all, it's just paperwork. And this is really important when you think of mitigation actions. And this is also why companies verify that their mitigation actions work to make sure that they really lower this risk. And the other thing is that when we were preparing for the storm coming in, we sat down the night before and thought of all the possible things that may go wrong and put the mitigation actions in place. And that is what organizations do. There is a risk management meeting where you have engineers coming together with the risk managers and trying to identify all possible risks, all the possible things that could go wrong, and try to find and define few mitigation actions for each of these. But even if you prepare, it's sometimes not enough. This is an event, fortunately, that has not happened to myself, but it's a black swan event that illustrates that even the experienced sailors cannot eliminate these risks. Some events are extremely rare, but they are catastrophic. In this case, imagine sailing in an open sea, everything is perfect, and then suddenly you hit a floating cargo container just below the surface of the water. The keel comes off and the boat flips momentarily. And the interesting fact is that there are over 1,000 cargo containers lost at sea each year, and many of them drift under the waterline, so they are invisible to the eye. In the moment where your boat flips upside down, there is absolutely nothing you can do. There's no discussion, no planning. Your response has to be immediate. And in this particular case, the preparation is everything. So having a life raft ready to go and having practiced what-if scenarios beforehand is crucial. It's usually when you don't have time to start thinking that risk management becomes essential for survival. So make sure that your mitigation actions work as needed and you have controls in place. In some cases, it's also really useful to have a checklist for critical situations. So let's say there is a cybersecurity threat, a risk that is materializing. Your team knowing where is that checklist and to find a way to remedy this critical situation is already a huge step forward. So all in all, we want our captains to be fun and calm, just like our managers or leaders should be confident and easygoing. But behind that calm exterior, normally there is a constant risk management. Like a good captain, your managers are watching the environment, trying to understand the team, checking the situation, and always thinking a few steps ahead. And it's not because they want to be controlled, but they want to be prepared. And that's exactly what good risk management does in your organization as well. It makes risks visible, helps address them in a more structured way, and reduces any unwanted surprise, be it weather or product safety, cybersecurity, or compliance. We don't use risk management to slow things down, but really to have everything run smoothly and get everybody safely to where they need to be. So in summary, you cannot eliminate risk. They are everywhere around us, just like they are in any organization or product. But you have to acknowledge them, prepare for them, and be ready when it really matters. So a couple of takeaways. Proactive risk management helps you spot problems early before they become costly or disruptive. When you understand your risk, you can make clearer and more confident decisions. When you manage risks well, others trust you, be it customers, partners, or vendors. And finally, with the right tools integrated to your everyday work, for example, tools on Jira, your risk management becomes more simple and your organization hopefully becomes more resilient. If you want to learn more about risk management or chat about sailing, then we are at softcomply.com or just connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.